Hello there, this is Red Joy, and today we're going to list off a few more of my favorite arcane spells for Baldur's Gate Enhanced Edition, and today we're going to look at level 5 spells. Level 5 spells, this is one of the best spell levels in the game. I really enjoy these spells. If you want a full rundown of all of the spells, I strongly recommend you check out the guides from Devayorn or from WestJ. They're both really fantastic. They go through every single spell in the game and they give it their expert opinion. All I'm doing in this video is giving you four of my favorite spells at level 5. So with that, let's go ahead and begin. Alright, so the first spell that I have as one of my favorite spells is a spell that I thoroughly enjoy because of its power and the fact that it lasts a long time, and that is Animate Debt. Now, I want to fully make a clear statement that the level 3 version of the Cleric spell list is a little bit better because you get it earlier, and therefore the scalable summons are actually going to be a lot nicer. So, what do you get for your summoned skeleton? You get a skeleton that's basically immune to a lot of magic, can take a lot of hits, and scales, right? You get a summon that can go through, for example, it can do very well against Mind Flayers, it can do very well against Beholders. It's just a very, very powerful summon, and I thoroughly enjoy tossing one or two of these out when I am exploring an area and I need to make my way to handle really scary enemies. So summon undead. Now once again, clerics get this at level 3. So if you have a cleric in your party, utilize those spell spots for that. But just like a wizard at level 5, a cleric's going to have a lot of very powerful spells at level 3. So you may find it's a little bit better depending on whether you're a specialist mage or depending on if you, I don't know, just haven't found a lot of spells at level 5, to use this summon for a while in the game. I find myself just tossing a few of these out at certain points. It makes me feel like a little bit of a necromancer, and it's a good kind of like a look over here enemy for enemies to try to attack. So we'll go ahead and use it against this gentleman and his critters. Will I show off the second spell that I enjoy? The second spell that I thoroughly enjoy is the offensive spell Cloud Kill. Cloud Kill will first off, it will kill anything that has 4 or fewer hit dice. So you're gonna have quite a few enemies that are at the early game that will suffer from this. So if you're playing Baldur's Gate 1, it's a very, very, very powerful spell. If it is 5 or 6, it's going to have a possibility of being slain with a -4 penalty. And those above 6 hit dice are going to have 10 points, 1d10 points of poison damage each round while they're in that area. This is great for interrupting spellcasters. It's great for just taking care of not useless summons, but like summons that are going to get in the way. So we'll go ahead. Yes. Now, it doesn't necessarily, it's not party friendly. That's one thing to note, is that we took the effects of it. But you see here, since we're well above, we didn't take that much damage, whereas we took out a whole bunch of enemies that were very low level or very low HP, and this guy, as long as he stays in there, is going to stay poisoned. And another point for Animate Dead, Skeleton Warrior is immune to it. So it's very nice to just have there, and you can double it up as well. So we'll just toss another one out there. And our Skelly, once again, is completely immune. We don't have to worry about any nasty effects. Very, very, very useful spell, especially for clearing out a lot of silly summons. The next 2 spells on the list are anti-caster spells. These are spells that are fantastic for if you have an enemy that is going to cast spells at you. The first is Breach. Breach is an offensive spell. It will get rid of a ton of different spell protections in the game, And the nice part is it lists them all out, right? Now, against this enemy here, this will probably be better against a guy who is actually casting protection spells. He may cast a protection spell on himself. Which he's not going to. As you can see, he cast shield, his spell protections were removed, so now we should be able to use something like Magic Missile against him. Yep. So Breach will get rid of those nasty spell protections, and will make it so that you can go in and hit and kill the mage. So it's a fantastic spell to use in case of enemy spellcasters. You may need to use it repeatedly, right? Because a lot of mages in this game, what they will do, especially if you have the SCS mod installed, which we usually do when we play, is they will cast a spell. It might get breached, it might get broken through, it might get stopped, but then they will raise up their protection spells again. They have like a double up, right? Which is a smart thing to do for you when you play your playthroughs. So you have to have multiple breaches there to kind of take out those multiple spell castings, especially if you're dealing with a high level mage who might have something like contingency, where if their spells get taken down, they just pop them right back up. So Breach deals with a lot of those things. It's not universal. There are things that Breach will not pierce through. I believe Spell Shield is protect. It specifically protects against it. But there's so many things on this list that Breach will go through. That's definitely worth it to. It's definitely worth it to use. And there are also combat protections that are gone through. I believe Stone Skin, Iron Skins is one of them. That's really nice. Protection from normal weapons. Protection from magical weapons, physical mirror, iron skins, improved mantle. Why on earth you would ever cast improved mantle, I don't know. Very nice things. And stone skin, of course, will also get taken out by Breach. So really, just a fantastic spell to use, especially if you're going against mages. Now, the last spell I'm going to talk about is Spell Immunity. Now, Spell Immunity will basically grant protection from the wizard from one school of his or her choice. So let's say you want to do Spell Immunity Abjuration. You can cast that and you will be protected from any spells like Breach that would break through any defenses that you have. That's really, really nice, especially if you're going against enemy wizards, just like I mentioned. There are a lot of good ways that you can use this spell. There are obviously the big ones to prevent damage would be things like making yourself immune to evocation or necromancy spells, because they have a lot of very damaging spells. You can also make yourself immune to divination and then grant yourself a ton of illusion spells so that they can't see through those illusions. As I mentioned, you could protect yourself against abjuration and make yourself immune to very nasty spells, kind of like, imprisonment. I don't know if this would actually work on imprisonment, come to think of it, but that's still a very, very powerful spell. I'm not going to show an example of it because I was trying a couple of times to get that and get a mage to actually cast a spell at me. But all in all, it's a very powerful spell. You can use it, and it does last one round per level, so you have to be a decent level to get this for a really long time. But this is a good oh crud spell to just pop on yourself and make yourself immune to really bad effects that could impact you. Before wrapping up, I just want to talk about a couple of honorable mentions that I would have for level 5 spells. These would be Chaos, which is great to drive your opponents crazy and to really mess up their plans. Spell Shield, which directly directly protects against Breach and keeps your mage protected from getting all your spell defenses taken out. And Lower Resistance, which is really good for taking out opponents who have a really high magic resistance. So with that, I do want to thank you guys for watching. If you like what I do, check out my other spell guides, or check out my other class guides, or check out my playthroughs. I also strongly recommend you check out the full spell guides from both WestJ and by Deveorn. They put a lot of work into them, and they are fantastic. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and good luck. We're all counting on you.